Everybody, quick video just to go through the basics of the AWRSS role scouting system. It kind of came from an idea that I had when I was doing the Blackburn Scout season report last year, where I put together this 25-man squad for the championship based around what I thought Tony Mowbray and Blackburn Rovers would want. And obviously, I was thinking of roles rather than positions. I think that's the way that the game is going now in terms of tactical flexibility and not just the position that the player plays in, but what role that player performs in the team as well. And then from there, you start thinking about what the attributes are for those roles that you would want to have. And then eventually that grew and grew into 40 roles that are all listed down the left-hand side here with some archetypal examples of players that would fulfill. That's a good example of basically that role. And that's mainly for me to get into my head exactly what I mean by those phrases. We've got all of the attributes that kind of come together to make these roles along the top here. All these ones are technical attributes, and then there's the physical attributes that are past this thicker line. These are interesting little bits. Possession adjust, whether you need to adjust the attributes for the possession that the team has. League bias adjustments. Do you need to make some adjustments because some people might be coming from a poorer league than the one that you're scouting for? And then probably the most important of the little things at the top here are the traditional scouting weights. This data scouting system that I'm going to show you is only one part of the whole thing. That's why it's not just a data model. The data that you can get, that I get from Wirescout, which goes to create these data profiles, is only part of the story. So for example, let's take, well, I've got this on decisions on the ball here. I think you can best look at a player's decisions on the ball by observing them either through video and through live scouting. So only 25% of what I would consider to be, the full picture of the player is going to be built up from the data for this particular attribute. Hopefully that makes sense. So what that 75% there is the traditional scouting weight. Something like goal contributions, we can pretty much see from the goals, the XG, the assists, and the XA, what kind of goal contribution record a player will have. And you can obviously you can add a little bit more in terms of the quality of those goal contributions and assists through watching them again, so you can't completely rule that out. So hopefully that makes some sense. And then here, this is just a spreadsheet to tell me which attributes go into which profiles of players. So that then leads us to the next kind of slide, as it were. This is just a general overview of all the roles here. Goalkeepers, I've not done a data profile for goalkeepers just because Wirescout doesn't really give you, I don't think, a good enough set of data or an accurate enough set of data to warrant doing that. So it's actually the 7 kind of positions and then 38 data profiles within that. So, for example, you've got the attacking fullback one here. I've said that what I would like to see from technical side is crossing, dribbling, one-on-one defending, positioning, progressive runs, quality final action, quality touches on the ball as the most important attributes I would want from a fullback that its primary role is attacking. And then there's also some physical aspects as well. Looking at a different profile, you've got attacking midfield playmaker here, composure, decisions on the ball, pass delivery, passes through the lines, progressive passing, and quality final action as well. So now that we've defined them, how do we calculate those? So this is where the technical aspect of it comes in and where the spreadsheet comes in, really. I'm able to pull all the data that I need from Wirescout and then create some calculations to put this all together. So For crossing for example, I'll take the crosses per 90 stat and the crossing accuracy stat and weight it so that it's weighted more towards the number of crosses, because crossing accuracy I don't think is as important as the number of crosses that you get into the box. This is all personal to me, and from things that I've read and wisdom that I've taken on from elsewhere. But this is obviously my model, so that's the way that I've put things together. Some of them are more complicated than others. You can see quality final action here. I've mixed together shot, assists, accurate passes to the penalty area, assists per 90, shots on target, shots per 90, XA per 90, and passes to the penalty area as well. So all the stuff that's kind of in the final third, really, and then weighted them accordingly. And then the final little bit of weighting is which bits of those go into the final score of an attacking fullback. And that's the way that I've done it there. You can see it in front of you. More towards progressive runs, quality final action, quality touches on the ball, crossing and dribbling, and less on the defensive side. Because, of course, we do have fullback defensive role as well. And obviously that looks at the other side of fullback. In terms of the different scouting cohorts that I've put together, there's 10 of them in each role. I've looked at the Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, National League, and then the GBE bands. Obviously, that's for work permit reasons. Every player pretty much in band 1 will get one. Band 2 is a little bit more difficult to get, and that's Portugal, Turkey, Holland, and Belgium. And band 3 is Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and Russia. So those 3 bands, and then some personalised groups, lower GB and I, that's League One, League Two, National League, Northern Irish Premier League, Irish Premier League, and Scottish Premiership. And then the elite youth is Premier Divisions 1 and 2, the Premier League Cup, and also the UEFA Youth League. So basically comparing the players in those cohorts, and that's when you end up with, if I just get the wide defenders up on here. So we've got the wide defenders here, and all of this data has been pulled from Wirescout using an advanced search and then a specific profile. So I only want certain data for wide defenders. I don't want everything in the world that's on these. So all of this stuff here is pulled from Wirescout. And then at this point here, I've basically just repeated that first set of data, but in a rank form. So if you look in the formula of the bar here, you can see this percentage rank of all of the cohorts. So for example, well, this is just matches played, so it doesn't necessarily tell you a great deal, except Anthony Ford has played very few matches in comparison to the rest of the cohort. So perhaps we don't rely on his data as much as we would do with Lyndon Gooch, who's got the 75th percentile in terms of the number of matches played. Obviously, we can filter out some of the players that don't have as many minutes. So Shadipo, Ryan Williams, Kane Vincent-Young, and Ford are all under 1,000 minutes. So we can put a filter on that to get rid of those less reliable sources of information, because obviously you want as much data as possible really to be reliable. So anyway, all of those data points have been ranked for the cohorts, and then this is where the calculations come in that I mentioned before about the crossing and the dribbling and so on and so forth. So all of those have been calculated from that data, and then the final weighting is done to give this fullback attacking score here. So, and they are ranked in that order. So Lyndon Gooch has got the best fullback attacking profile in League One compared to his peers. We already talked about Ford, Williams, Johnson and Shadipo in terms of their data not being maybe as reliable, but the data that we do have suggests that those guys are also very good attacking fullbacks. Obviously, some of them play wing back and some of them play fullback. So this is where you need to use your personal interpretation as well, and the other parts of your scouting. This is just giving us an indication through the data. Obviously, this is ranked from 0 to 1. The closer you get to 1, the better. But anyone over 0.6, so anyone down to max power here, is ranked as a very good attacking fullback. So that's that. Obviously, you've got all the different cohorts down here. Here's the championship one for interest. We've got George Baldock sitting at the top of the attacking fullbacks there. And again, everyone down to Todd Kane really is ranked as a very good attacking fullback. You can see all of the different cohorts here. And then, you know, in terms of outputs, we've already talked about being able to use filters and stuff like that, but you can do player comparisons. So I've got a comparison here between Zayfwick and Nyambith. This is when Deo was being mooted to come to Blackburn. And then I've just put that into a player comparison chart here. You can also do, obviously, the scatter diagrams and things that you've seen on my Twitter that can be done through Data Wrapper or through Excel. But that's the kind of extent of the outputs at the moment. But as you'll have seen in the blog, if you've read the blog, that's something that we're looking to expand upon. But all the effort so far has gone into the actual building of it, and we can work on the outputs as we go, because some of them can be very highly personalized. But getting some automated outputs would be fantastic as the next step. Hopefully you've enjoyed that walk through the system and understand a little bit more about how I've done it and whether you agree or disagree. Any feedback is absolutely vital for me. So get in touch at Andy Watson Sport on Twitter or andywatsonsport@gmail.com if you want to send me an email as well.